Hello, everybody. Welcome to Motorsport Factory, and thank you for tuning into my channel. Those of you visiting my channel for the first time, welcome to my channel. Today, I want to discuss something that may be controversial, maybe not. But what I want to talk about is the difference between the fake shops to real shops to fake customers to real customers. Um, I thought about making this video. It's kind of not necessarily, it's kind of a response video, but kind of just my take on experiences I've had. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because uh, if you've watched in my description, there's a video to Vinny Ten's um, blog on or video on how he's calling out fake shops and fake tuners and frustrated customers. And I, for one, had to deal with a lot of fake shops and mechanics. And I wouldn't say a lot, but there's one in particular that I had to deal with. And and then just being frustrated for a long time. So I want to get into that discussion with you guys, and I hope you guys can engage in this conversation as well. If you guys want to make video responses, that's awesome. The I would appreciate if you guys give me a response, and then you can even let me know if I'm wrong about something, and maybe I'm tripping. Um, I would appreciate a response, but I do appreciate for those of you talking to me or even watching this video. Um, so let me actually go to my notes that I wanted to talk about. So it's things I want to add to the video, like I said. If you guys watch the link in the description, just press the thing down so it opens up, it expands it more. Um, I also want to talk about the mistake I also made by not doing enough research on a shop and mechanic that worked on my mom's car and my Integra. Um, for example, I had a body shop in Manteca, California, mess up my car before the second guy that messed up my car, which I will mention in a bit. So I had a 93 Integra that got in an accident, and this was 2 weeks prior to me graduating Wyotech too. It got in an accident, so I ended up picking up a 90 chassis off of some guy in San Jose, Santa Clara area when I used to live in the Bay Area, and had the shop swap everything into the 90, but he didn't know what he was doing, right? Nor did his so-called mechanic. He had the car for 6 weeks, but check this out. He had the nerve to say he only had 3. Well, the thing is, the car was just sitting there for 3 weeks, right? So that's the problem I had with this shop. He's letting it sit there, and then he had the nerve to say that he was waiting on parts. Well, I get written on pieces of paper exactly all the parts. When you do this, it doesn't have to be in that exact same order, but check it off as you're doing things. Nothing wrong. I think it's excellent to have a checklist and so to go by. So it's like, okay, I got this done, got that done, got this done. And that's kind of what I do personally as well. But so yeah, so I gave him specific instructions. He had plenty of time to get everything prepped while he was so-called waiting on parts and get everything prepped for cleaning, like cleaning the engine bay, getting rid of wires and hoses that look brittle, start cleaning and painting it up, get it all prepped up and real nice. Um, so he also his mechanic ended up messing up the electrical work, and the valve adjustment was off. Some of them were too tight, some of them were too loose, and the ignition timing was off. And so I had to take it to one shop. Like when I had to go smog it wouldn't pass smog, right? So I had to take it to another independent shop. mean, I could have figured it out on my own, but I was just not in the mood. I was stressed out and everything. So I had to take it to not only that shop, but then I had to take it to Honda 2 times to fix a few things. So they fixed the valve adjustment. So I spent honestly about just with Honda alone 700 just fixing crap. I think it was 700. Maybe I'm tripping. I think it was less than that. It was $150 for the valve adjustment, which was not bad because they were looking through everything. So I had, and the thing with the body shop, because I had just replaced the catalytic converter and the oxygen sensor, and guess what? I'm having to replace it again within 3 months. Yes, within 3 months. So I had to, yeah. So I obviously had to take it to other shops to fix his screw ups, and I'm to a point where I'm gonna start calling out the exact shops and the exact names, and I'm gonna start posting pictures of these people so you, the viewers, can avoid these people and never let them touch your car. So what ended up happening with the body shop, I guess he filed for bankruptcy or something, and he had a lot of tools. He just left a lot of cars hanging there, man. It was just like it was wrong. It was really wrong for him to do that. So the electrical was just screwed up, right? So the dash, obviously, the speedometer, the tachometer, and everything. So the dash gates were all working fine. So, but what ended up happening was, let me put this microphone down here real quick. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me okay. Um, so, looking at my notes again here, because I tend to get sidetracked when I'm trying to talk. Um, the heater wasn't working right, so he's just saying, the body shop was just saying like, this is broken and that's broken, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. It was working fine before you messed with it. So when I finally looked for a second guy to help me with my mom's car, which was the 97 Nissan Altima, which I'm going to be making more videos of that car as well. So what ended up happening was I had hired this guy to help me fix the taillights that kept dimming out. For those of you with the 97 Ultima or that generation Ultima, like you know how when you hit the brakes, the instead of the bright lights getting brighter, it would dim out more. One of the sides would dim out, right? So the second guy, mechanic number two, checked at the fuse box and told me it was a loose wire. And I was like, okay, and I was kind of impressed because it seems like he knew what to do. But when I looked at the fuel box, it was probably a wire that actually didn't have anything to do with the taillights. I'm not the greatest with electrical, but you know, I can figure stuff out when I can. And at first, I was impressed with it at first, and then sometime later, I had him help me with my Integra. And honestly, this guy, he messed up my car more than he fixed it. And it made me wonder why. So the speedometer on the I couldn't see, especially when I turned the headlights on. Uh, getting back to the body shop real quick, was the body shop screwed up the electrical. So when I turned the headlights on, I couldn't turn my heater on, and if I turned my heater on, the headlights would dim out, and it was just like it was very frustrating. It was very frustrating dealing with this shop and this mechanic. Excuse me. So So then this mechanic number two ends up we're screwing it up more. Now the dash lights don't even work. The blower motor works. The headlights are a little bit brighter, but it was still just not where I wanted to be. I'm to a point where I'm going to really just tear out all the electrical from the dash all the way to the engine bay and just redo all the electrical myself because I don't know what happened. So the thing was, and then the mechanic number two did fix some things, but then made other stuff not work. And he's telling me that he said, well, this thing was broken already, so it's just somebody must have bypassed this and that, which I didn't believe, right? So Now, getting back to the Ultima, before I get sidetracked again, that's why I'm looking through my notes. I always have notes on exactly what I want to talk about to you guys. So um, I'm hoping that I'm not necessarily doing this for necessarily entertainment. I'm doing this for your own personal knowledge. So you do your own due diligence of researching a shop, researching a mechanic, looking them up on Yelp or Google Plus, and looking at the reviews, getting to know, finding out from people how well the shop is, what kind of reputation that they have. So getting back to the Nissan Altima, few years later, um, I checked out the lights started dimming out again, right? The wires weren't loose actually. I checked the taillight wiring because I said, let me figure this out myself before I have to try to get a hold of somebody to do it. So what I ended up doing, I checked the fuse box. All the wires were pretty much intact. I'm talking about the fuse box that's by the driver's side on the by the, I guess you call it the kick panel. So I looked at it, that was fine, nothing was wrong there. So I accidentally started fiddling with the wires in the taillights, especially on the driver's side one, right? So what ended up happening was, as I was playing with it, I noticed the light would get a little brighter as I fiddled with the wire, right? Because it's like if you take, let's say, this wire here, for example, at this portion, this is the bulb hooked up, and then then I'm just fiddling with it, because when wires get corroded, it would, you know, have more resistance, or it like become more brittle and everything. Brittle. Excuse me again. So what I did was I was messing with the wiring, and then what ended up happening was I noticed it started getting brighter. Then I had my brother help me out, and I said, hey, step on the brakes for a second. So when the brakes went dim, then I fiddled with the wire, and then when I positioned it a certain way, it would get bright again. And so that was actually the real issue. It was in the wiring of the taillights, on the original taillights that it had. Due to the weather seal in the back lets moisture in, so I noticed water would also get in the trunk. So this is another key element for you guys with the Ultima. Change the taillights out, and I actually bought a pair of those eBay ones that were like 80 bucks or 100 bucks, and it was actually not bad. It had a better, one of those weather seal foams that's on the taillights, better and thicker gauge wiring, better bulbs, hooked it up, ran fine, and now I don't have water leaking into the trunk. So I fixed two issues. So it's not that big trunk seal when the lid closes down. It's not that. I highly doubt water would actually leak in through that way. Windshield, possibly, but that's not most likely. Um, First thing I would do is check those tail lights. That's where your water is more than likely coming in from. Just to give you guys a quick tip on that. So when I realize now that mechanic number two didn't even really fix anything, so as impressed as I was at first, when I look back at it now, it I was like, man, he didn't even fix anything at all, you know. So I was like, man, if had I known and realized this sooner, I could have saved myself another 80 bucks instead of paying him. Um, so that's that as far as shops and mechanics goes. So my thing is, just be careful who you take your car to, and especially when it comes to tuning, because mechanic number one from the body shop who messed up the car the first time, the thing with him is he claimed to make, my first build was a Nissan Skyline. Are we talking about a real Skyline, or are we talking about those toy model ones, the RC versions, right? So we need to make clarification. Are we talking about a real car or a toy? be it a model or an RC or whatever it is. Um, when I think about it, as much as I want to go into rage mode, but I said no point. Just have to let it go. It's a learning lesson, and you as the customers need to do your due diligence research before you get involved in a shop. And if they don't have the reputation, especially let's say you have a Nissan Skyline, you have um, an older Nissan, the older Nissan, the 280Zs or the older 240Zs or whatever it is, right? Or any car that has carbureted engines, Datsun 510s or something. You want to take it to people that know how to build these cars, that are familiar with it. Even if Hondas are pretty easy to work with, but it it's one of those things that you want to take to a Honda specialist because they know all the tricks to work with Hondas. People who specialize in taking an engine block, like say a B18, and making the LSV Tech stuff and H22, H23 combination. That they really know how to tune the Hondas. They're familiar with it. They do these things all day, so it's easy for them, right? So that's if I've missed anything, just let me know, guys. If there's something else you want me to add to this video, I kind of feel like I am missing something, but it's okay. But now let's get on to these fake customers. That's my thing. The thing with that is customer. I know this may upset a lot of people who want to fix up their car and want to save money. I understand that. You don't want to spend too much money on fixing it up. Well, you should be careful what you want to fix up and how much money you want to spend and what's worth it to you at the same time. The thing with whack customers, and what I mean by this, is stop going to shops asking for better deals when you've never stepped foot into that shop. And literally, you've seen for those of you shop owners, tuners, business owners, you've probably seen this before, where literally open up the door, one foot's inside and looks inside. Hey, do you guys sponsor, or do you guys do any kind of sponsor, or I forget the other word, but anyways, and only half your body's sticking in and just shouting for sponsorships, which is kind of, I would say it's actually full-blown disrespectful, to the shop owners, to the tuners, and the brands like myself. Besides me doing mobile mechanic service, besides working on this branding, besides working on tuning and stuff like that. The thing with customers, U.S. customers as well, need to understand from the business side of it, to putting yourself in the business owner shoes, the shop's mechanic shoes and whatnot, how much work they have to put into lowering your car, whether you have two Honda S2000s and you want me to do it for $100 each, you want me to put coilovers on and make all those adjustments, not gonna happen. I'm sorry. I mean, you're driving a Honda S2000, which is, what are they, like $35,000-$40,000 cars, right? And I actually asked my friend Rob, who's in custom modified experts in Hayward, who I used to work with back in the day. I even asked him how much would he charge for doing coilovers and making all the adjustments on a Honda S2000. So if I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, you guys, but I think he said roughly right around $400 per car, because of the fact that not only are you installing it, but the adjustment you got to do, because we have to constantly adjust. Now, had they been just regular springs, you just put the springs on, put them on, and you're good to go. But with with the coilovers, you have to actually make all the adjustments, taking the measuring tape, measuring it out, And then let's say the customer says, "Oh, it's not too, it's too low or it's too high. Let's lower it." So we got to keep raising it back up and making all those adjustments, right? So you as a customer have to understand what would you charge if you feel certain prices are too expensive. Then what? Put yourself in the mechanic and the shop's shoes. What would you charge for that job, for that car? And trust me, I get a lot of cars, high-end cars sometimes, and they want stuff. I already, as the mobile aspect of my business, already charge half the price on a lot of cars anyway. But if you're driving a high-end car, if you can't afford to fix the car, you shouldn't own the car. That's just my take on that. The other things, as customers, you have to understand, you don't go to Walmart, Target, or any other store, and when you get to the register, start asking for a deal. You just see all your produce and all your things, essentials you need. It's $9.99, it's $7.99, it's $8.99. Go to the register and then pay the price and go. Hey, if they have price deals, 20% off, 40% off, okay, great. But you have to respect the shops. They have a set price. They have a set price. Because even me as a mobile business, I get customers wanting deals. Again, as a mobile mechanic, I'm 50 to 60% off on majority normal passenger vehicles. But if you got, for example, I did a battery replacement on a Ferrari. It was a 599 GTB. It was a 2008, something like that. So I had to go to the dealer, get the right battery, go to the customer. He paid full price. I didn't charge more than what the dealership charges. I actually charged exactly what the dealership charges, because my thing is, if you can afford a $500,000 car, you can afford the repairing it. Especially as a mobile business, you have the advantage of the convenience. For the customer, you have the convenience of me coming to you if you have problems, or you can bring it to me if you want it. And then, I mean, I could have easily charged more because of convenience fees, but I didn't. It was good enough money for a battery replacement. I couldn't go wrong with that. So, even for me as a mobile mechanic, I'm already cheaper than shops and independent shops from the get-go. People still want better deals. Well, I can only give you guys so much, right? Because I got to build a business. I have licenses I have to also pay for. I am trying to build a brand. I'm trying to pay for better shop equipment, better shop tools, so I can get the job done quicker, faster, more efficient for you guys. So that's the things people need to understand. And plus, I gotta eat too, you know. So to give you customers a quick tip from my personal view, if you want to get sponsored, you need to kind of come correct. Make a portfolio. Take some pictures. Plan everything out. What have you done to the car? What do you plan to do to the car? Have you won races? Have you won show events? Right? Show them. Oh, give me a portfolio. Just like when you go to a job interview, you hand them a resume, a well-prepared resume, right? If you want that job. That's the same thing. Don't just hop in a shop and like, hey, do you guys sponsor? And I don't even know you, right? Come correct by also show me what kind of reputation you have among the car community, be it you into performance stuff or just lowering your trucks and SUVs, just tricking them out, Because you have to understand, again, put yourself in the shop's shoes and look at this. Do you really want to spend $500, $1,000, $10,000 as a mechanic or a shop, dumping it into one car for some dude you probably barely know, and they'll claim they're gonna, represent you in their so-called car community? Because a lot of us are very skeptical and too hesitant, myself for sure, Um, I for sure won't spend 10 grand or any amount, be it products or labor, so you can have something for free and we don't get anything in return, right? So that's the other thing people need to look at. So I want to give you, I just remembered there's an example of an email. So this guy, just going to go by what I remember. I don't want to spend hours digging for that email. Probably won't take me hours, the uh, but before I get into this email conversation, the thing you have to remember as U.S. customers, what are you going to give the shop in return? I think before you try to ask for also sponsorships, build a relationship with the mechanics, with the shop owners, bring customers their way, and maybe they'll kick you down something for sure. I definitely would. You bring in me customer, just say, hey, here's my customer. I'm bringing you 10 customers. If you're bringing me like 10 customers a month, dude, I'm gonna hook you up for something for free. I will definitely do that. That's my word for that. And this video is a documentation of that. Um, so to give you also another example, some guy emailed me. What I was trying to do originally was I was trying to work on thermal insulation spacers, so which are instead of a regular intake manifold gasket like Hondata, if any of you are familiar with Hondata, they have those thermal insulation spacers. So I was actually trying to make a kit, and not just the spacer itself. So you have the stud kits, you have the washers, you have the nuts that go there, and then whatever else that can come with it, what have you. So I was prototyping and testing out different materials myself because I will get back into that, by the way. But what I was trying to do is I was testing out different materials to see how long they'll last, which one will crack. And by the way, Hondata, it works. I felt a responsiveness to it, but it was only lasting me like a couple of years. It only lasted like 2.5 years maybe. I'll make a video of it. Um, Somebody remind me later. Make a video. I still actually have the Hondata um, part, and you will see definitely the cracks of the material. I mean, I can understand maybe it works for a while. Maybe you have to replace it every couple of years. I don't know. But anyways, let's get back to this email before I again get sidetracked. That's why I'm like looking at my computer screen and looking at my notes here. All right, so I was emailing, so I was getting a lot of hits of emails, and so with this one particular guy was like wanted to donate his car. So I thought about that, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I said, well, first off, I don't have the space. Second, I don't know what he wants me to do. And third, and for sure, thing was, I don't want to dump my time and money into a car and my products, and I don't know this guy. So he was kind of talking to me back and forth, and kind of sounded like he was Vin Diesel, or I should say Dominic Toretto from Fast and Furious. If you look at it from the movie realm, Dominic Toretto had a reputation, right? So if he had a reputation like that, then I totally understand. But he was like, if you hesitate, don't get too far in life and this and that stuff. I forget exactly what he said, but I don't want to get too much into detail with it. But those of you that want to talk smack are the ones that aren't really going to get any attention. That's my take on that. So be careful with talking smack. Be careful with how you approach shops, and just be yourself. And like I said, just build a reputation. That's how I did when I first met Rob from Custom Modified Experts. I was a customer. I was just buying stuff here and there. He was a nice guy. He was a chill, laid back dude. Installed stuff for me, and then to a point, I eventually started working for him too, time to time. In the beginning was time to time. Then from 2000, I think it was before summertime of 2001. I can't remember. But anyways, I worked for him for a couple of years, and when I go back to the Bay Area, I go to see him time to time and help him out time to time. But we've built a relationship, and we're good friends now. And I think, again, that's what you customers need to do, is build a relationship with these with the shops and the mechanics. Network with them. Maybe they will teach you something, how to do certain things yourself. Especially if it's a simple thing you can do yourself, they'll show you this is how you go about doing it. Hey, that'd be great. But if you don't build a reputation and then you're just yelling out, hey, sponsorships, right? That company, shop, tuner, mechanic may not even want to sponsor you. So you got to be careful with all that, okay? All right, so I guess that ends this podcast discussion, whatever you want to guys call it. I'm just going to call it podcast for now. I'm using a Logitech C920 to do my recording, and I'm using a Logitech I think it was called a G930 as my headset. I'm just using the microphone off of it and to do my recording. So I have my trusty HTC One S to make my little videos right now. I am in the market of looking for a better high quality camera so I can have better recording quality. But I'm just going to be using this webcam for now. And you know what? I can't even complain about this webcam. So join me on Facebook, guys. Subscribe to my channel. You can also reach me by my company email. My website is definitely up. I do have a few products on the website. I'll post all those things on the description. And on the website, you can click on the forums tab where you can register for the forums. I have a few categories already made. And I will work on more categories and stuff like that. And I will definitely have forum moderators. Again, build a relationship up with me, and then I'll definitely let you be a forum moderator. But I need to know that I can trust you and handle things properly and not abuse the authority of that. All right, so that concludes this discussion. Again, Facebook, YouTube, got my email, got my website, and then there's a forum section on the website itself. Just tab over it and register, and that's pretty much it. For those of you who've been subscribed to my channel, I thank you for being subscribed to my channel. And for those of you again who are first time tuning into my channel, welcome to my channel. Stay tuned for contests and giveaways, and the first giveaway will be, let me be right back. Alright, first giveaway is going to be the 17-ounce glass, which is hand engraved, if you can see that. Done by hand, freestyled. Not by me though. 17-ounce glass. I'm gonna definitely either give this away for if I can, if for those that want it. No, and no, I haven't drank out of it. Okay. I will offer the mugs too once I get those. I'm gonna give you that. You have a few options from this hand engraved, right, on a 17-ounce glass, or the mug, or we can have it etched, which is going to be used with aluminum oxide etching instead of the etching cream. So again, we'll do mugs with that. If you want an aluminum oxide or a hand engraved, it's not going to matter. But anyways, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Again, comment, questions, concerns, let me know. Was I tripping? Was I right about something? Is there something you guys agree on? Some you guys have a different viewpoint, you know. All right, guys. See you guys in the next video.